Hello everybody and welcome to Magicka. This game is an amazing game. It's definitely in my top 10 games. It came out about 2 years ago at the start of January 2011 and it's definitely underrated. So I decided to make a few videos of it to get the channel started up. I love this game to death. I played it back then and I still play it now. That's how good it is. They keep adding to it even though it's so old, but it just gets better and better. So yeah, if you've never heard of Magicka, hopefully this series will encourage you to go and buy it. I'm sure lots of people will enjoy it. So enjoy.
Stay a while and listen, and I will tell you a story. A story of dungeons and dragons, of orcs and goblins, of ghouls and ghosts, of kings and quests, but most importantly, of wizards and vampires. Well, a story of business. Once upon a time in a land known as Midgard, there lived a powerful wizard named Grimnir, who sought to harness the power of all magics, ancient spells crafted in times long forgotten. With such knowledge, he might enable the wizards of the Order of Magic to spread eternal peace across the lands. But the Order of Magic instead felt threatened by his ambitions, and in the shadows they schemed and devised a treacherous plan. And so, Grimnir's disciples were expelled from the Order, and he himself was, for all time, imprisoned at World's End. All because of his dangerous lust for knowledge. Grimnir's dangerous ambitions dashed, the world was safe once more. Aside from the increased number of monsters attacking the good villagers. And of course the warlord Khan, who had united the orc tribes and now threatened the great city of Havengir. But in the dusty gloom of Castle Aldraheim, where the Order of Magic dwelled, a brilliant teacher and his finest pupils were about to embark on a journey that would prevent the world from changing forever. Melde, jiva vlad, og jiva null vampir, jiva valda spatsen Havengir, og hjálp Odin. Da, Anasti gode, Grimnir borts, monster i skogen, oder hjálp, je vlad, null vampir, ni spatsen Havengir.
Alright, so there we go. So our brilliant teacher over there can't really do anything. Can punch, hit shift and left click, but anyway, moving on. Who's this?
Bloody super ledge. Arifil vampiri. Nesadori
I thought that too.
Oh, peeps, nice day.
Yeah, me too. This picture of Vlad. He's very full of himself.
Hell dig. Luk ner och dunka Midgård hjälp.
Dunk.
All hastar vi oss då.
As long as I have cheese, I'm not very fond of it myself. In fact, I don't eat cheese at all, so not a big problem for me.
The Brender! Vi startar dunka redan. Men jag är rädd att vi haltar ostar. Bli inte arg. Felix Pettertorn, ju mer ostar.
Whoa, Tena
This guy's drunk.
Dig Revner, get Scapanida!
What was that? Oh. Great.
Vad är bra nu ut?
Yeah, I'm fine. A few scratches, bruise. Okay, just board it up on top. Banana. Whatever. Magicka is a game where you can experiment and combine up to 5 elements to create spells. Experimentation is important as there are thousands of combinations at your disposal, but to conjure any elements at all you first need a staff. Get one from the weapon rack. There we go. Now we go. Ooh, life. A life is a beam spell. It heals, cures poison, and damages the undead. It's opposite to arcane. Alright, so first thing we want to know, if you cast W, and we use middle mouse button as it explains here, we can use life on ourselves and heal. We can heal as much as we want. A lot of people think that the more heals you put on and then use it on yourself, the more it'll heal, but in fact it doesn't. See, I'd get 178 with 1, 178 with 5. To stack up, you just keep hitting the same button. Anyway, so now it's teaching us to use melee combat. It wants us to hold down shift and click left mouse. Now we can swing our sword. That's how it's punching. So just cut the rope and we're through. Earth. Earth is a projectile. It does physical damage and its opposite is lightning. Again, I'll get into some opposites later. So for now, if we use D and right click, we can launch a little rock. Now the more earths we get together, the bigger the rock is. Also, we can hold down the right click and charge up the rock. So when that happens, you're at full power. So it's launched this really badly constructed ball of planks. And it breaks. And now we have fire. Fire is a spray spell. It does fire damage over time, so it sets things on fire and keeps damaging them. It causes panic, so they run around, and it drives wet targets. The opposite is cold. So a spray spell is basically you use it and it sprays about you. Not much else about that until we get on. But for now, let's just light this on fire. And this opens up for us. So there's another pedestal over there that we need to light on fire. But whatever we do, we just can't reach it with normal fire. So this is where it forces us to experiment a bit. So I can combine healing and fire and launch it. It'll create a beam spell. Now this, having life and fire on it, it will heal the targets you shoot, but it will also set them on fire. It's fun if you have other players because you can say, oh, I'm gonna heal you, and burn them at the same time. Alternative, you can combine rock and fire. And this will shoot a boulder that explodes in fire. Now the more fires you put in, the bigger the fire explosion will be. The more rock you put in, the bigger the rock will be. So you can also use all three we have, which will cast a rock that will fire along, and it will explode and heal targets but set them on fire. Okay, so there's our first experimentation of the game. Now the key to this game is experimentation, because after this tutorial we obtain all the elements, and then it's up to you to find a combination that's good for you, that you can cast easily and does a lot of damage. I don't know. So here, just launch a rock and set this on fire, and a door bridge comes for us. Okay, so now we have lightning. Type lightning. Does lightning damage and jumps from target to target, so it's a chain. Its opposites are earth and water. So now we have our first opposites, lightning and rock. So if I get a big boulder and I try and put lightning in there, it won't work. It'll cancel out one of the rocks. So like whatever I do, I can't put rock and lightning together. Just won't work. And thing with lightning, that's what it means by lightning. It's a big zap. And if you have multiple targets, it will chain between them depending on how strong the electricity is. So now let's just shock this generator and the door opens. And now we are wet. Now if we try and use lightning on ourselves while we're wet, we take damage. Great. that was embarrassing. So yeah, if you die, you get defeated, and it takes you to a latest checkpoint, which was right here, so that's not too big of a deal. So you understand that you can't use lightning when you're wet. So you can't dry yourself by just healing. You have to cast. Whoops. You have to get fire and put it on yourself. It'll dry you, do a little bit damage, but you can just heal. Right, so now we have 2 generators. Try and zap them both. Doesn't work. No matter how much we try, how fast we do it, it just won't work. So now it's teaching us to do our area of effect attack. So if we get lightning and hold down shift, then cast the spell, it'll go around us and hit things all around us. So to show you what that did. So any enemies in that radius will get attacked. Now the more lightning we do, the bigger area we kill. We can also do this with fire, rock, healing, any spells really. Then you can also combine them, so rocky, fiery earthquake, fiery lightning, just do that. And I don't know. Just come up with crazy combinations, I suppose. Right, now we have Arcane. Arcane's a beam like healing. Deals arcane damage, it's very explosive, and it heals the undead. Opposites of life. So like lightning and rock, no matter how many healings we do, and then we try and use arcane, it cancels it out. It just doesn't work. So there's a generator over there. Lightning can't reach it. Let's infuse it with arcane. There we go. Now, arcane's going to be your main damage dealer. So you can easily cast spells and kill things with it like this. If you use heal, it'll obviously heal them and be really inconvenient. So you want to make sure you use arcane. Cold. Cold is a spray like fire. It slows the enemies, freezes water, and its opposite is fire. So here we have a big cellar full of wine. Don't worry, it's not blood, it's wine. So if we just cast cold over this, we can simply freeze it. Also do AoE, it'll freeze around us. Very nice. Now we have water. Water's the spray, just like we saw. This time it soaks and douses flames, so it makes things wet and it puts fire out. Opposites of lightning, so it can't use water and lightning together. So there's fire here, just put it out. Very simple. Okay, now we have a big machine that will crush us into the wall if we try and go through. But there is a spell book here. We learn haste. Now, this is your first magic. Probably thinking magic, well this whole game's about magic. True, but magic is special ancient spells that are scattered through the world and you can find throughout each chapter. So it's telling us how to cast here lightning, arcane, fire. So let's do that. Then we can hit spacebar to do haste. And now we can run really fast and get through here without being crushed into the wall. Now we have our first enemies, imps. This is where you're first put into combat with anything. Now, for tutorial purposes, they will just run away when you attack them, because they're cowards. So, a very clever, convenient spell, if you're not sure what to do. It's the same as haste, but instead of hitting space, cast it as a spell. It's actually a very effective spell that I used when I began playing. So, if you're not sure what to do, just use ASF. Not getting faster, and it can easily kill things. There are a lot stronger spells than ASF in doing that, but I'll get into it later. So let's pull this lever. What does this say? You don't have to, but it would be a bad idea to burn the rope. Now, I'm just going to say he's talking about this rope. I'll show you what it does in a minute. Okay, so here's our first mini-boss. Now we have shield. It makes a shield, it's a protective barrier, and its opposite is shield, which is a bit strange, but Yeah, so if we use shield and put it up, it'll create an energy barrier. Now, it has a little health bar here that we can boost if you go near it, hover over it, and spam your space bar. It's a bit annoying to boost it, but they're very strong. They can deflect any beams you shoot at them, so it'll just deflect it at whatever angle I shoot. It'll deflect literally any beam. Doesn't matter what you do, it'll deflect it. So use it against your friends or to help your friends. That's up to you. And you can slowly break the barrier. So we could fight this guy with beams, light him on fire or whatever. He won't do a lot of damage if you fight back, but let's try burning this rope. Oops. And the chandelier fell on him. Now if you actually do that, you get an achievement. I can't remember what it's called, but you get an achievement for doing that. So let's move on.
Wow!
Wait, we just killed him. Oh, I feel bad now. Yeah, we missed him.
Sen propp Fellnight, det var nog bra om ni tar Nido.
Yes, we have magic. Ooh, we learned revive. We learned crash to desktop. And we learned meteor shower.
Det var superbäst med spatsen nu.
Yeah,
innan vi har
accident.
Arkidance.
Kinda wanna get out of here, don't wanna fall through another floor. Alright, so we just did the tutorial dungeon. I think I'm gonna cut it here for an episode, and then we'll get on with the actual story to chapter 1. So, see you next time, guys. Like, rate, whatever, subscribe. Goodbye.